This edition of PewterPirates.com is brought to you by House of Brews Tavern and Grill. More than beer, House of Brews gives you great food and always great fun.
And speaking of food and fun, we'd like to thank our co-title sponsor, Sea Dog Brewing Company. Its Treasure Island and Clearwater locations boast the exclusive combo of giving its patrons a New England brewery complemented by a golf-inspired menu, both by the beach. Oh, we appreciate our co-title sponsors, both Sea Dog Brewery and House of Brews, where they both have something in common. Great brews, great food, and great service. Quite the rare trifecta. Well, football season is back, folks. Yeah, the Buccaneers ready to kick off the 2018 campaign, and so are we here at PewterPirates.com. One new wrinkle for the Buccos. How about this nice indoor facility where the team can escape from the rain and the heat on a lot of days? Well, one thing they can't escape, though, is the clouds surrounding this franchise in regards to Jameis Winston's 3-game suspension. That will be the focus of our training camp kickoff special. Here is the menu. Yeah, we knew about Winston's suspension weeks ago, but today the Bucs quarterback had to face the music. We'll have his reaction to a lot of hard-hitting questions. Head coach Dirk Koetter didn't mince words on his quarterback either. We'll have his reaction to Winston's suspension, and we'll also talk to Jameis' teammates. PewterPirates.com, training camp, we're back in business, and it's next. Welcome back to our House of Brews, Sea Dog Brewery, PewterPirates.com training camp kickoff special. I'm your host, Mike Neighbors. Well, usually day one of training camp, you're really digging into all those hot topics, the big camp battles, but because of Jameis Winston's 3-game suspension to begin this season, that was the discussion, especially since Winston hasn't answered any questions and the team only released a brief statement when it broke, and the coaching staff hasn't talked about this either. Ryan Fitzpatrick, though, will be the starter, it looks like, in the first 3 games, although many think Ryan Griffin, the backup, could push him. We'll see in the weeks to come in training camp. My big takeaway, though, head coach Dirk Koetter, when asked about Jameis Winston being a leader on this football team, said he's going to have to be a leader from the rear, which is a stark contrast from what Jameis Winston has been in his first 3 seasons. They both had to face the music to the media today, a lot of hard-hitting questions. Here's reaction from both Dirk Koetter and Jameis Winston on his pending 3-game suspension.
I've just learned that you can't put yourself in these situations, and that's the most. This happened, after my rookie year, and I think I've made a lot of positive changes since then.
We don't have control of it as a team. We have to deal with it.
I've had full support, from ownership on down, and definitely addressing my teammates personally. I know that really meant a lot to them. Because it's about them. Again, I don't want to be a distraction. I just want to put this all behind us and move forward.
He claimed his innocence to us. Did he tell you a different story than what he had to retract?
I don't know too much about that. I've had multiple conversations with Jameis, but really not about that. I'll let him speak for himself on that. So again, we all saw the same report that the league put out, and that's really all I know.
This actually gives me an opportunity to lead behind the scenes. I actually get a chance to observe my teammates and be able to help them behind the scenes and let Ryan take the show. Ryan has been here in this situation before, so I'm blessed to have a quarterback of that caliber taking on the ranks.
It's disappointing that Jameis put himself in that position and put our team in that position, but at this point, it's done and we have to deal with it.
It's not about me. I'm going to do whatever I can to dive into this community, dive into my teammates, and be a great support system for them, because my whole thing as a player is to focus on my teammates and not myself individually.
Well, this is absolutely not the way the Bucs wanted to start off their 2018 training camp, with a huge distraction involving their quarterback. Of course, in the past, it's been running back Doug Martin, who was an integral part of this team, but Jameis Winston's shadow should be a long one up until his possible return in week number 4 against the Chicago Bears. Well, we're just revving up things in our kickoff special, training camp style, here on PewterPirates.com. Coming up next, of course, we heard from Dirk Koetter and Jameis Winston on his suspension, but how do Winston's teammates feel about not having their quarterback in the first 3 games of the year? We'll have their thoughts coming up next.
There are a lot of neighborhood bars, but there is only one.
House of Brews!
It's now better than ever, freshly remodeled with a new U-shaped bar. where it's clear everybody's having fun at the
House of Brews.
Armed with a full liquor and wine selection, House of Brews houses a large selection of brews. But come on, this place is more than brews. The food takes it to a whole different level. A fresh daily scratch menu serves up a wide variety of favorites, leaving customers always satisfied at the
House of Brews.
Not your average neighborhood bar. Oh, it's so much more.
Welcome back to PewterPowers.com training camp style, our kickoff special, everybody. The main focus of day number one, of course, is Jameis Winston, 3-game suspension. We heard from the Bucs quarterback earlier in the show. But an interesting move by the Buccaneers, they didn't have him speak when the team reported. Instead, they had Winston's teammates speak for him. Offensive lineman Ali Marpet, Bucs wide receiver Mike Evans, and Bucs linebacker Levante David. We'll begin with David, who had an interesting defense and characterization of his quarterback's actions and the defense of them.
We just know it was just a silly mistake back in the day.
Was it a silly mistake?
It's just a silly mistake, man. He knows it. We all know it. But we got his back, like I said. He knows what he's done. He's going to learn from it because, from whenever it happened to now, he's matured a lot. You guys know Jameis. Jameis is a guy who's all about his business. He's going to come to work, do is right.
Jameis' suspension. How surprised are you, and how will this affect the football team?
Yeah, so I was a little surprised by it. We've got a great football team, and I think that there's a lot of talented players. And for the first 3 games, we'll have a different quarterback. But again, I think we'll do a really nice job. We, as a team, we believe in Fitzy, and there's a lot of other talented players that can step up.
I don't think it impacted at all. That's my boy. One of my best friends. Obviously, I was hurt by it, but we've been going to war together for 3 years, about to be 4 years now. Missing those first 3 games, but that's it. Stuff happens.
It's tough on these Bucs players, even though they didn't show it in these press conferences. When you report to training camp, you want to be locked in, really focused on the task at hand instead of answering questions about your quarterback who keeps getting in trouble off the field. In fact, I asked wide receiver Mike Evans, is it a tough situation? And he kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, it's just part of the deal. Well, we're going to finish off our PewterPowers.com training camp kickoff show right after this. Now, you want a drinking and dining experience like no other in Tampa Bay? Well, Sea Dog Brewing Company is the place for you. Its Treasure Island location gives its patrons a beautiful waterfront view with 6 brand new boat slips and more to come. This Sea Dog location has a great selection with local brews, all made in clear water, and the specials. You have daily happy hour Monday through Friday from 2 to 6. Mug Club Monday features $6 mules. Taco Tuesdays are always popular, but don't pass up the $9.99 Fish Fry Thursdays. And on the weekends, enjoy a Sea Dog Brewery Sunday brunch by the beach. So check out Sea Dog Brewery at Treasure Island, 9610 Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island, Florida, 727-954-7805. Welcome back to the training camp kickoff edition of PewterPowers.com, everybody. A lot of first days of training camp around the league are kind of mundane, business-like, routine. But here, one Buck Place, a lot of fireworks regarding the first reaction we've heard from, of course, Jameis Winston and Dirk Cutter. You see the sun peeking in here at the indoor facility? This franchise is hoping for a lot more sunny days in the weeks ahead. And in the weeks ahead, we're going to provide great Bucs coverage for you. A lot of new features, a lot of breaking news for you. Whatever happens with this football team, we'll have it covered for you from a video standpoint and also from our podcast. We're going to bring back our Buccaneer insider, Roy Cummings. He's covered this football team for over 20 years. Our podcast is called A Few Extra Bucks. We will have a few extra takes on the Buccaneers, plus some sound. We couldn't include the show from the players. I'm Mike Neighbors for PewterPowers.com. We'd like to thank our title sponsors, House of Brews and Sea Dog Brewery. Until next time, we'll see you down the road.